Roman Empire, what you know as Rome. We'll try to know about this civilization today. How was the life of these people? How did those people fulfill the necessities of life? And what religion did those people follow? You are watching Co-History Channel. You may not all know about Rome or the Roman Empire, but you must have heard its name before. Let's try to know more about it. It is about 550 BC when this great empire began, or rather a great power came into existence on the Latin land, which people now know as Rome. We have tried to provide you information about these civilizations in great detail in these videos in very simple words. There are many myths behind the foundation of ancient Rome. However, at its height, it ruled over a huge area of land, as you can guess from the fact that all the modern-day Mediterranean countries were part of ancient Rome. In the beginning, Rome had a monarchy like other civilizations, but after only 7 kings, the Roman people took control of Rome and ruled themselves, introducing a council known as the Saints, ruled over them. After that, Rome came to be called Roman Republic. Rome is known for having more mythological gods and tales represented in works of art and literature. The Romans have always believed in the supernatural, which is reflected in their beliefs. Myths of strength and heroism were one of their common and important themes. We will briefly mention some of these legends in this video. First, let's talk about the legend of Romulus and Remus. According to Roman mythology, these were twin brothers, who were the children of Mars and Rhea Silvia. Virgil and many other historians attribute his adventures to the founding of Rome. Born in Alba Longa, they were considered a threat to King Amulius, and so to save himself, he ordered them to be abandoned on the banks of the Tiber River. The newborns were left to die, but were rescued by Tiberius, the legendary father of the river, and they survived under his care. A she-wolf nursed them in a cave near Lupercal. Later, they were adopted by Faustulus, a shepherd. Unaware of their identity, they reached their youth working as farmers and shepherds. But no matter how far he came from his original birth parents and home, his roots never left him, and his inner leadership skills helped him gather many supporters. As he matured, he became involved in a feud between the supporters of Amulius and Numitor. As a result, Remus was imprisoned in Alba Longa, the place where he was born. The king and Remus' grandfather were suspicious of his true identity. Meanwhile, Romulus was busy trying to find ways to free his brother. While all this is happening, the two learn their true identities and joined forces with their grandfather to restore the throne. Eventually, they won and Amulius was killed. When they got back to the 7 Hills, they got caught up in an argument about where to build the city. Romulus preferred Palatine Hill, but Remus wanted it to be on Aventine Hill. Since they could not reach an agreement, they asked the gods to help them through Istigfar or omens. Romulus saw 12 birds and claimed the win as Remus only saw 6. And from here a new conflict started which engulfed Remus. Then Romulus found the city of Rome, and so Rome, the Roman civilization, began. A legend is also known in Rome referring to Aeneas. Aeneas is a legendary hero of both Rome and Troy. Homer mentions him in the Iliad as the first cousin of King Priam and Troy. In the Aeneid, Virgil describes him as a hero and ancestor of Romulus and Remus. The Aeneid states that Aeneas was one of the few Trojans who was neither killed nor enslaved after the defeat of Troy. After gathering a band and being ordered by the gods to escape, he traveled to Italy to raise the Romans. This team was called the Aeneids. He took with him the statues of the Trojan gods and installed them in Italy. They wandered for 6 years and finally settled in Carthage. Here Aeneas and the Carthaginian queen named Namdido had a year-long affair, after which Dido proposed to him, so that they could rule both the Trojans and the Carthaginians together. Aphrodite, the mother of Aeneas, with the help of Jupiter, made Aeneas realize his true intentions, which led him to sneak away from the place. In pain of her departure, Dido casts a afterwards, he stabs himself with the sword he gave Aeneas in their first meeting. It is said that the Aeneid then returned to Sicily and Aeneas made his final settlement in Latium. To honor his father who had died the year before, Aeneas organized a series of funeral games. After his death, he is said to have descended into the underworld and met his father and Dido and learned about the future of his successors. In other words, Roman history, this story about the ancestry of the Romans was laid by Aeneas. These people depended on trade and agriculture for their livelihood. These people made great advances in manufacturing, agriculture, and mining, which allowed them to develop the skills to make a variety of goods that they traded. But this was only the life of those who were the best in lineage. The poor Romans lived in their servitude. Regarding religion, the Romans had their own distinct religion, and adherence to this religion was important for both the elite and the common people. Apart from this, these people used to celebrate many rituals and festivals. A fire was lit in every house, which was considered very sacred. These people believed that as long as this fire was burning, they would be safe. When it went out, some trouble would befall them. These were the beliefs of many gods, such as Jupiter or Zeus. Juno means diamond, Minerva means Athena, and many more besides. These people, humans or animals, were offered as sacrifices to the gods. Religious festivals were celebrated loudly, like Adonia and Aganalia, which they felt controlled many aspects of their lives. These people also believed in vows and prayers and considered them very sacred. These people believed in death and resurrection after death, and many funeral rituals have been found among them. These people used to build temples and shrines as places of worship, which were decorated very well. Rome also saw the rise and fall of some of the greatest emperors in human history, such as Julius Caesar, Trajan, and Augustus. But eventually, the empire became so vast that it was impossible to bring it under a single ruler. Eventually, the Roman Empire was overrun by millions of barbarians from the north and east of Europe. If you want to know more, then comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.